Victims are at the center of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace. The stage that has been reached now will lead to the sentencing of the 8 former members of the army who have accepted their responsibility for war crimes and crimes against humanity for the enforced disappearances and murders committed in Dabeiba, Antioquia. In this new phase, the Special Jurisdiction for Peace will continue to unearth the truth. This is the first judicial investigation against those who promoted and determined this criminal practice in Dabeiba. That is, against those most responsible. This process began with the tireless search by the families of the victims, despite impunity and oblivion. It is thanks to them that the SJP has been able to make the truth visible and move towards reparation and non-repetition. Since 2021, the Judicial Panel for Acknowledgement of Truth, Responsibility and Determination of Facts and Conducts has accompanied the victims in their process within the framework of the joint case of macro cases 03 and 04. Case 03 investigates the killings and enforced disappearances presented as combat casualties by state agents, and Case 04 prioritizes the territorial situation of Urabá. The opening of this case is the result of the commitment to the truth of those who appeared before the Special Jurisdiction for Peace and fulfilled their obligations. Initially, the Judicial Panel of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace gathered information to uncover the truth about the murders and enforced disappearances that took place in the Las Mercedes Cemetery in Dabeiba between 1997 and 2007. In that process, the judges reviewed the reports submitted by the victims, collected the versions of the defendants from the public force, and the observations of the victims on what they said. Similarly, in the field, the defendants' contributions to the truth have been compared. To date, this has allowed the identification and dignified handover of 13 victims of enforced disappearance. We continue to make progress in identifying others. The Judicial Panel weighed all the information and found that there was sufficient evidence to conclude that the defendants were responsible for committing war crimes and crimes against humanity, against persons illegally presented as combat casualties. For this reason, the Judicial Panel called upon them to acknowledge these crimes. On June 28, 2023, 8 of the 10 defendants admitted their participation in the crimes in front of the victims, the justice system, and the country. As a result of the recognition, the Judicial Panel issued the Conclusions Resolution. This judicial decision states the defendants who are candidates for the imposition of special sanctions as a result of their commitment to truth and reparation. The Chamber of Acknowledgement of Truth is the body of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace in charge of continuing the process carried out by the Judicial Panel and, in this way, determining through a sentence the sanction to be served by those most responsible who told the truth and accepted responsibility. In order to move forward in the process of reaching a sentencing, the judges of the Chamber will, among other things, hear and collect the observations of the accredited victims and the defendants on the Conclusions Resolution. Subsequently, the Chamber will evaluate whether the Conclusions Resolution is consistent with the information found in the case. It will then conduct a hearing to verify whether all the conditions for the imposition of the special sanctions, which range from 5 to 8 years, have been met. The special sanctions will not only limit the rights and freedoms of the 8 most responsible for this joint case, they will also provide reparations to the victims, and for this reason, the participation of the victims in their construction will be fundamental for the SJP. The Chamber will impose the special sanctions by means of a sentence. However, the assistance of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace does not end there. The sanctions will be verified by the monitoring and verification mechanism for the implementation of Special Jurisdiction for Peace of special sanctions, which includes the UN Verification Mission and the Special Jurisdiction for Peace. The Las Mercedes Cemetery in Dabeiba hopes to become an emblematic case in the construction of peace. Based on the acknowledgement of responsibility and the contributions to the truth made by those most responsible, as well as the participation of the victims, it is expected not only for the special sanctions to be imposed, but to facilitate the transition to restoration. Victims teach us to restore, to transform.